Let's be honest. There are people who like to see us suffer in
Yeah,
one way or
no.
another. Yo, RMNX, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, Armin.
So we're all playing through Parsec.
Did
and
my thing not update? Cool.
All right, I'm gonna switch. Let me just highlight
Actually,
Parsec.
I forgot to turn on one thing real quick.
Let's try Bowser. Not try Bowser.
Oh, my bad. I just gotta turn that on, minimize that.
All right.
Yeah, no,
Alright.
we had honestly, Parsec takes a little bit of time to Parsec takes a little bit of time in order to get it going because there's a lot of technology and a lot of troubleshooting involved.
There.
Yeah, that's why we were kind of running a little bit late, Dragon. But hopefully everybody's doing well right now because we're gonna play some Mario Kart 64, and I'm not great at it, but I still have fun with it.
Yeah, same. We'll see how
Alright,
it goes.
let's go.
A good old classic Luigi Raceway.
Yep.
Yep.
Also, can you guys believe that the N64 is gonna be 25 years old this year?
Yep.
Don't make me feel old.
Super Nintendo's gonna be 30. GameCube's gonna be 20. The Wii's gonna be 15. Game Boy Advance is also gonna be 20, and the 3DS already just turned 10.
Yeah, I literally feel old hearing all that. It's crazy how fast time flies.
Yeah, this year is like the year where there's like way too many anniversaries. Don't tell me that my
wasn't there a
backache
Dreamcast
is.
anniversary too?
Wait, what happened?
Wasn't there a Dreamcast anniversary this year too? How old is the Dreamcast turning?
Oh, the Dreamcast anniversary was actually like 2 years ago, like September 9th, 1999.
That's fair.
Yeah, our man in the chat is like, don't tell me that. My back, it aches.
Yeah, no, my back aches too hearing about that.
Oh, what the
I
hell?
like to remind myself I'm still young by looking at the copyright date on my vintage strawberry shortcake porcelain figure.
Oh, wow. I messed up. Yeah, yeah, for me, it's like, I could just name like what are like some of the oldest shows I've watched when I was a kid. This is way too many. Ow. Let's see. For N64 in general, I didn't get one till way late.
Honestly, I don't remember when I got my N64. I know I got mine for Christmas though. I was one of those kids that was like, Nintendo 64! I didn't actually scream like those kids in the video, but, that's why I got mine.
Yeah, I really have no idea when I got mine. It probably was it was for Christmas, so it was probably either the year it came out or the year after.
Yeah.
Like I was only like 7 or 8, and I wasn't really like I knew the Nintendo 64 existed. I saw it at the game rental store all the time. But
yeah.
Also, yeah, Project 64's emulation is weird a little bit. Sometimes it speeds up the levels like this, and I don't know why it does that. But
oh wow.
Yeah.
You guys have to bear with us on that.
I get similar issues with the PlayStation emulator.
Jeez, this is 200cc.
Yep.
No, I know, it feels like it.
Yeah, our man says he got his in mid-99, went from Genesis to N64 to PS1 to Dreamcast, all over the place. Yep. Yeah, because I didn't get an N64 first. I ended up getting a Saturn first. Then later on, I got a PlayStation. Though I did get, when the PS2 and GameCube came out, like I waited 2 years to get both of them at the same time.
No, that's fair.
So I got them in 2002.
Yeah, until I was making my own money, my parents were pretty adamant on one console per generation because we did not have a lot of income.
Money.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So I
that's
picked
honestly fair.
I picked Nintendo because that was my first one. I had Super Nintendo, so I wanted Nintendo 64 and I wanted GameCube. And it was midway into GameCube's life that by the time I could start buying my own stuff, and I bought a PlayStation.
I went from NES to Genesis, then briefly to Super Nintendo, then I just went to Saturn, which, if I would have known, because by the time I got the Sega Saturn was about to die. If I would have known, I would have went for either an N64 or a PlayStation instead, like much earlier.
That's fair. See, I never got a chance to play the Saturn much. The only reason why I love Sonic R is because I played on Sonic Gems Collection.
Yeah, Sonic R is so good. I will say this, that it's anyone who says it's a bad game, I'm like, it's nowhere near as bad as people make it out to be. Is it the best?
No, it's really not. It's not the best game, but the controls might be a little clunky, but other than that, it's got great music and it's really good for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The racing game, I wish it has the concept I wish that Sega would try again.
Yeah, I in terms of Sega, I got to play the Genesis at my cousin's house all the time, but that was my only exposure really to a Sega console.
Yeah.
And once Sega went third party, and I had GameCube at that time, obviously, so I got I got Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut, and Sonic Mega Collection, Gems Collection. I just tried to catch up on all the Sonic then.
Yeah. Let's see. Our man says at least Saturn had some cool first-party releases, but we missed out some cool stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of games that never left Japan. That was what bothered me. Because Sega Saturn has the best version of X-Men vs. Street Fighter. The PS1 version, you're only limited to either one-on-ones or pick. Each player has the same characters in the same team. You're only limited to that. On Sega Saturn, just like the arcade, never left Japan because Saturn died outside of Japan. Not to mention Saturn has some cool games that just never came out here for one reason or another. So and some of those games never came out here in Japan, outside of Japan for Saturn, but it came out for PlayStation instead. So people just get it on PlayStation. And N64 had its own games and it's pretty good.
Inheritance says so impressive that you just know all those dates.
Yep.
That's true.
Oh yeah, the Soccer Wars series. I remember those. No problem, Joey Jelly. She says she got an NES, then Game Boy, SNES, GBA, PSX, DS, PS2, Wii, 3DS, PS3.
Hold on, man. I'm gonna pause this for a second. Let me just do one thing really quickly.
Switch, PS4. All right.
And Inheritance says they didn't get their. I don't know. I think you're talking on 64 until much later, but their fingers weren't on the pulse of gaming, so he didn't even know it come out until his dad brought home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's for me, there were games that I missed out on in my childhood that I ended up playing much later in my life, but there's games that I'm glad that I played. There's just way too many of them for me, and I'm glad that I got to play so many PS1 and some N64 games, many of which I had to rent from Blockbuster.
Yeah, PlayStation 1.
My bad.
The number of PlayStation 1 games is a lot smaller. It was oh. There we go.
Yep.
I forgot the heavy carriage to hit you out of the way like that.
But yeah, the only really opportunities I had to play PlayStation was my grandparents had a PlayStation, but they had 2 games. Otherwise, I sometimes rented games when I went to visit them. So I'd played a few, but
in my immediate family, we were the only ones to have N64 because most people in my family were in the PlayStation.
Yeah, no, on my end, I mean, my brother had a PlayStation 1, but I mostly had the N64 for myself. But yeah, my brother never liked to share his PS1, so I didn't get to try out most of the PS1 stuff until later on.
Yeah. Like my older cousin originally didn't want me to get into RPGs until much later, which I missed out on. I missed out on the earlier Final Fantasy games growing up, and I missed out on Zelda. Like my cousin, like just never introduced me to that. Like he introduced me to a lot of stuff. I didn't play Zelda till later. I didn't play like so much until later on. But when I actually got N64,
I didn't get very into Zelda until later. I had played Link to the Past a bit, but I didn't own it. And I had Ocarina of Time, but Kid Me for some reason was really freaked out by Jabu Jabu's belly. And I always had to have my friend that was my neighbor beat that dungeon for me, and then I would never get very far.
Yeah.
So, but I mainly got into Zelda when Majora's Mask came out, and I got it at launch. That was the first Zelda game I beat. And
wow.
And then the second ones I beat were the Oracle games. So.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I forgot what was the first one I beat. It might have been the first one because I played it on Animal Crossing.
Yeah. As for PlayStation, I got my PlayStation 1 way after GameCube came out. And it was, once again, it was after I had my own income and I had tried DDR for the first time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to have this game to be able to play on my own. And so I bought a used PlayStation 1 and a copy of Konamix DDR.
Oh, that one.
And then I did get a couple other PlayStation 1 games, like I got Final Fantasy Tactics.
Cool.
And
I
didn't get very far in Tactics. I mainly got into Tactics with the Advance.
Yeah. Welcome back, Julie Jelly.
Welcome back.
Yeah, like, for me, I'm embarrassed to say this, but my very first N64 game, once I got it, I sold it the next day. Or at least I think
what game was it?
Superman 64.
Geez,
I mean,
that was your first N64 game. Damn.
That's really rough foray.
Yeah, that's a really crazy story. How'd you end up wanting to get that game first?
It was what my uncle had. Like he had an N64 that someone gave it to him. He didn't want it, so then like he just gave it to us.
Oh, that's fun. That's kind of crazy. That's also a little funny that you ended up with Super Mario 64 first. Yeah, my first game was Mario Kart 64, and then I got Diddy Kong Racing and Super Mario 64 like right after.
Yeah, and the thing is, he didn't even give us a controller. We had to go and buy a controller ourselves. We had to share
that's
one.
That's crazy.
We had to share one until we get another one.
Yeah, given my age at the time when I got it, I don't remember for sure my first game, but it probably was Super Mario 64 because I do remember before getting it, always eyeing the posters of that in the game shop of 3D Mario with the wing cap and just like really wanting it.
Hey, System Malfunction, good to see you.
But I do remember really getting a Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah. The first time I actually tried out the N64 was at a Toys R Us. And they had Mario 64, so I got to play that for a little bit. Oh, your first game was Sonic 1? Nice, R-Man. My first game was Super Mario Brothers on the NES.
I think my first game ever was Super Mario Kart on SNES.
But yeah, first N64 game was Mario 64 on mine.
My first, if we're talking first video game, including computer games, I wouldn't know because I started playing on the computer when I was 2. But my first console game, I got my Super Nintendo when I was 5. I got it for Christmas with Super Mario World, Super Mario All-Stars, and Disney's Aladdin. And so it had to have been one of those.
Yeah, Disney's Aladdin.
Disney's Aladdin and Lion King are like really tough.
They are.
I hear that. I mean, Lion King's really tough for me. I owned Aladdin since I was 5, so like to me it's just muscle memory.
Yeah.
I still haven't beaten Lion King to this day, and I need to. But Aladdin I can get through just casually.
Yeah. I've never played an Atari system before. Like my video games, like my video game history started with Nintendo.
I played
Yeah,
it
no, same
Atari.
here.
We had my house. We had an Atari before I got my Super Nintendo. It was my dad's, I believe. So I had played it, but I don't really. I was so little, I don't really remember much. I remember the only game I like vividly remember is Adventure.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one. But for me, also, my mom would always take us to the arcades a lot, or like any place that has an arcade machine in it. Like
Yeah.
mostly like a pizzeria or a local deli that would have one. Laundromats, they would always have arcade machines, and I played so many great games. My mom and dad put a picture of me as a 3-year-old playing on our Apple LE in my high school yearbook. Nice, Julie Jelly.
That's really cool.
Hey, Keyblade. I played a plug and play Atari. Does that count? But my first game I ever played was Mario Bros. Duck Hunt NES bundle. Nice.
I heard that's a rare cartridge now, the Mario Bros. Duck Hunt bundle.
Yeah, Inheritance says I would love for you to play see you play Aladdin sometime. I mean maybe. I have a very like full list of games to stream right now.
Yeah. Again?
Yeah. Yo, 2 lightning bolts. All right.
Wow.
I can't claim to understand the RNG, but I got 2 lightning bolts in a row.
Yeah, no, the game be like that.
I just wanted to use my gold mushroom that I have. That's all I wanted to do. Yeah, because this game, they wouldn't let you use any of the items when you get hit by the lightning, and I don't like that.
Yeah, no, that's weird.
I mean, depending on when you get hit, you could just outright lose the item, too.
True.
I knew that was a fake block, and I drove into it anyways.
Yeah. By the way, I saw footage of how that Dinosaur Planet game looked for N64 before it became Star Fox Adventures. And it looked interesting except for one thing.
What's
the frame
that?
rate.
Oh, yeah.
The frame rate was so bad, but everything else was like, it looked fine. Interesting to see how Crystal looked originally.
Yeah, maybe it just was kind of too grandiose for the N64.
Yeah, it feels like it could have been.
I'm in the minority of actually enjoying Dinosaur Planet. It's not like a must-play game, but I thought it was a pretty good Zelda-esque game.
Yeah. Like, I heard mixed things. There's mostly people I know who either like it, people who hate it, but rarely anything in between.
Yeah, I haven't heard too much about it myself, but
I think people probably would have liked it more if it didn't have any of the Star Fox characters.
Yeah, that is fair. I did go in... It was actually, I think, my first Star Fox game. And I don't tend to be a huge fan of that genre of game, or like the regular Star Fox genre.
Yo, you saw that? I got crushed by the rock, and my head was still normal sized.
Wow.
This game.
Because my first Star Fox game was the original on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, sadly, I didn't get to play too much Star Fox. Honestly, at some point, I really ought to go back and play Star Fox 64 at least, at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played through 64. I played a little of it.
Yeah, well, I've been mostly winning every race because, you know, Mario Kart speedrun strats.
Yep.
I did put up a really diabolical China point reward, but I don't know if anyone's actually going to go for it. So whenever we move on to the next game, I'll make sure I take it off the request.
How is this reversed? Like I fell and then now it says reverse.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, no, Choco Mountain's a weird one.
Yeah, I get nervous around the one cliff where you can just fall down onto the lower part of the stage.
Yeah, forget about it. There's been times where I've struggled with that really hard.
Hey, Derek.
Hey, what's up, Derek?
Yeah, Dragon says he wants to do the expert mode in Star Fox 64. What difficulty were we playing this?
I think it's 150cc. It should be.
Yeah, 150.
How you doing, though, Wally? Hopefully you're doing well.
Except for Moo Moo Farms, we did like 200cc.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that.
It's probably the CPU, like with the emulator.
It got excited. It likes that stage.
Whisker Squadron? Never heard of it.
I have not heard of Whisker Squadron. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I've not heard of it either, and I played a lot of obscure games.
Must be an indie game that is in the works.
Oh, is it an upcoming game?
Might be, I don't know. But I was looking at Kickstarter games to see. Oh, it is. One of your Nintendo Force colleagues is really excited about it. Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, no, because I've been keeping my eye on a couple of indie games as well as some Kickstarter ones. There was one that actually did hit its goal, but it didn't get like it didn't get any of the stretch goals beyond like 2 of them.
What game was that?
There's a new Little Nemo game coming out because they're bringing Little Nemo back, and I kind of want to check it out.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty cool.
Other than that, I got to see what other games I'm interested in.
Yeah, I've been kind of burned by Kickstarter so much the past few years that I kind of
like.
I don't blame you, Shad. It happens.
Like the weakest game for me that I backed on Kickstarter is Mighty Number 9, but I'd say
that's mine. That's also mine. Also,
yeah. Though another one that, even though I enjoyed the game, I don't think it's that great. Ukulele.
Yeah, I'm really sad about that because I had a lot of high hopes for that game.
Yeah, it's like Shad, you remember when I was streaming it? And
yeah.
Like, there were some parts where I liked. They had some really cool ideas. But it just didn't really feel. It just felt like a been there, done that type of game.
Yeah,
and
I kind of think that was the point, but
yeah, it was. But you know, they could have stretched the envelope a little bit more in certain areas.
Whereas, like, I was worried that was exactly going to happen with Bloodstain, and to me, not the case. I love Bloodstain Ritual of the Night. Such a great game, and it feels like a Castlevania, even though it's not exactly Castlevania.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. All right, no problem, Keyblade.
I'm on record as having enjoyed Ukulele. I don't think it's a must-play, but I think I enjoyed it, and I didn't regret backing it.
I still say...
I'm hoping it gets a sequel where they try again and go a little further next time. Yeah.
Yeah, because I still got to do Impossible Lair, but I really hope they make a...
Impossible Lair is solid. I highly recommend that one.
Yeah, no, 112 like raves about that game a lot. 112 like really loves that game, Impossible Lair.
Yeah.
It's probably still my favorite Donkey Kong Country-esque game since the original trilogy of Donkey Kong Country.
Nice.
More than Tropical Freeze even, and Tropical Freeze is amazing.
Yeah, no, I love Tropical Freeze. Tropical Freeze is great.
It's like I like Return. Like the only Donkey Kong Country game I still have to beat is 3. That's the only one I still have to beat. I've done 1. I played 1. I played 2 before. I gotta do 2 again on stream.
Yeah,
I want to get to 3 and then get to Returns again.
Every time the original Donkey Kong Country trilogy gets re-released, I play through again for 101%, 102%, 103%. I did it now on Switch. Just every time they do that, I'm going to play through it again.
Yeah.
And I never have a bad time doing it either. Like it doesn't get tedious like some games replaying.
By the way, I'm gonna wait up for you guys. I'm gonna show this off.
All right.
So yeah, if you bounce the wall and you time the jump button perfectly at the top of one of these hills, you can actually jump the track here. I'll show it off real quick.
Okay.
Oh.
Like that.
Oh yeah, that's
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's kind of broken, but I'm gonna drive backwards down so I run into you guys.
Janky hack, mate.
Yep.
There's a couple of them in this level. This level's like really infamous for having a lot of them.
By the way, I've been hearing some rumors about a new Donkey Kong game, and it's going to be worked on by the
I've
Odyssey
heard
team.
Yeah, no, that's going to be really interesting if that becomes the case.
The question is it going to be 2D or 3D? Because
a lot of rumors are saying 3D.
If it's 3D, then like please actually not be anything like 64. Like to me, please make it like fix a lot of the issues 64 had.
I don't think it'll be anything like 64. Collectathons in general aren't very popular anymore. And it doesn't seem like that team's like, yeah, Odyssey was kind of a collectathon, but like not really, not to that level.
What are my issues with Donkey Kong 64? Oh, okay.
Here we go.
All right.
You opened the Dragon's Den there, Dragon.
Yeah, you sure did. Okay, here we go. Number 1. All right, so here's number 1. I feel like the controls, even on N64 standards, were pretty wonky for a platformer like that. I will say though, I do like the way that Banjo-Kazooie and even Super Mario 64 play. But this, it feels a little more sluggish. That's number 1. Number 2, and I absolutely do not like having to use the rocket for Diddy Kong. Like sometimes like when I'm trying to move certain areas, it just doesn't work the way I was hoping it would.
Yeah,
I would miss some platforms.
That rocket is fairly wonky, and this is coming from somebody who actually enjoys the game. Like, any of the fly-through hoops with the rocket mini games are kind of ass.
Yeah. Number 3, Beaver Brother. Like all those
Beaver Bother. Yeah, Beaver Bother is the worst part of the game in my opinion, especially the hardest time you do it.
Number 4.
Yeah, a lot of people would say that Beaver Bother is a shit mini game.
Number 4, they ended up like they made the Donkey Kong arcade game harder than it's originally meant to be. And like you have to do it in one go. You cannot like lose lives. You have to do it in one go.
Also, you have to do it twice, I heard, for 100% completion.
That's not even for 100%. Yeah. That's just to beat the game.
Yeah,
that's for any percent. You have to beat it twice.
You have to beat it twice.
Wait, seriously? I thought it was for 100%.
No, because you need to do it to get the Nintendo coin, and you need the Nintendo coin to get the 8th key, which you need to get to the final boss. So.
Oh god.
Yeah. I will say though that the jetpack one isn't as bad, but it's still tedious.
I actually have fun with the jetpack. The Donkey Kong one, I agree, is complete garbage, and they made it way too hard. But I enjoy the jetpack.
The Donkey Kong one would have been more bearable if and only if they would have allowed you to have like 3 lives.
Yeah, give you 3 lives. I completely agree. 3 lives would have made that go from tedious to like a little challenging, but not too bad.
Yeah, the factory level. That's the main thing, like the pie factory. So as far as other issues I have with Donkey Kong 64, okay. So another one is the abundance of collectathons. I feel like out of all the rare games with collectathons, they went way overboard. They got carried away with this one.
Yeah, I mean, 5 characters worth of collectibles is a little much.
Yeah, that is a flaw I will always argue exists about the game. Having to sweep each area with 5 characters and being like, I could touch this item, but I can't get it because I'm the wrong character.
And that was actually number 5, like actually having to replay stages with other characters. Like, why couldn't you just like only do everything you can with just one character and not have to worry about using all 5?
It's a shame because I do like the design of the other Kongs besides Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. Like, I love Tiny Kong. I like Lanky Kong, and Chunky Kong's pretty aight.
My least favorite out of all of them is actually Chunky, and
yeah, Chunky seems kind of boring. I like Lanky and Tiny more.
Yeah.
One of my
Diddy and Donkey, like Lanky's my favorite.
Lanky's great. One of my best friends' favorite character in like all the Donkey Kong games is Chunky Kong, and we'd always play multiplayer with the shooting like third-person shooter minigame in Dunk Dunk 64. Because he figured out that if he fires fast enough, just smoke will come out instead of pineapples.
Huh.
And so he just like go around shooting smoke and just keep shouting, "Me shoot smoke."
Yeah. Let's see. Another issue I have with the game is the fact that the level design is not even up to par with anything that Rare was doing like before and after that on SCC4. I feel like it's their weakest one.
Oh yeah. Also, Dark Keyblade brings up a good point. Like having to go to a tag battle to switch characters when you could just be able to like try to do that on the fly. It would be a little bit better.
Yeah, that makes it worse.
I think if they, for who knows what reason, if they decided to remake it, there's changes that would make it like not garbage, like being able to switch characters on the fly. Just remove Beaver Bother. Either that or drastically fix it.
Yeah. There was also another mini game that you had to do that was really bad. And I believe it was one where you had to I think there was like ghosts and there was like a maze.
I know which one you're talking about. I didn't think that one was too bad.
I hated that one. Oh my god, I struggled with that one so much. I hated it.
There's one that's kind of brutal that you have to shoot a Kremling and not one of the Kongs, and the lights will turn off and they'll switch places. That one on the higher difficulties is kind of brutal because you have less than a like a tenth of a second reaction you have to make.
Yeah.
No, the game's definitely not without its flaws, and once again, this is coming from somebody who enjoys playing it. I know it definitely has a lot of issues.
And I think the worst level in the game is actually the final level, and the worst boss in the game is the final boss. Because you have to beat the final boss with all 5 characters, and if you die at all, under any circumstances, you have to do the whole thing over again.
I think the final boss is one of the best and worst things about the game because it's a very clever, funny boss fight. But
I love the boss fight, but that's a horrible thing about it.
Yeah, like once again, if they wanted to for some reason remake it, make it so it checkpoints after every section of the boss.
Yeah, and
also by the way, sorry to interrupt, but this is another shortcut I want to show off. So yeah, over here, if you use a mushroom and you bop this wall.
Sorry, I didn't see you.
I think I hit the wrong wall. Anyway, if you hit one of the walls, you end up on the bridge and you can teleport. If I get another mushroom, I'll show it off properly on the next step. I think I went too far.
Yeah,
okay, so I did not mean to run into you. I just...
No, that was hilarious. Hey, listen, this is my shortcut. No, get out of the way.
Could somebody please clip that on my end? And also on Mike's end, too?
Yeah, somebody wants to clip that.
But yeah, the worst parts while fighting the final boss are when you're using Lanky Kong and when you're using Chunky. Chunky is the worst one because when you're about to hit him, he disappears sometimes. Or when he's about to hit you too.
Yeah.
I just gave up on the game. I'm like, fuck that game.
Oh, that Peach show off. You can go to Princess Peach's castle at least.
I do think the most BS boss fight in the game, in my opinion, is the second time you fight the Dragonfly.
Oh god!
Because even as somebody who's very experienced with the game, usually it takes me several times just because the end of the fight you have like a limited time to like button mash and hit him.
Oh yeah, by the way, this is the area I was talking about, right over here, more towards the left.
Yeah.
I think I got it.
Nope,
that did not. No, that didn't work.
By the way, Mike, I wouldn't mind doing like 2 or 3 more races before we switch to the next game.
Alright, cool. So, yeah, alright, what tracks you guys want to do then? We haven't played on. I know we'll save Rainbow Road for last.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it's already 9 o'clock. Yeah, we'll do. Honestly, yeah, 2 more races sounds like a proper amount.
Yeah.
God, I can't believe I just doing all the screw ups right now at the end of the race. Okay, there.
And Dragon brought up a good point that if you're playing Donkey Kong 64 on the Wii U, like they remove the lag, but that makes
it makes it worse.
It makes it worse. Especially if you're playing the mini games, it's actually like really hard to actually get any of them out.
Yeah, it's a game I like that I will actively tell people, oh, it's a horrible game. I like it. I think half of my enjoyment of it is nostalgia, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know we'll do. How about Yoshi Valley, then Rainbow Road, then we'll move on to the next game. How's that sound?
Sure.
Sure.
Oh, and thanks for the clip, Dragon. But yeah, like those are my issues with Donkey Kong 64. I think it could have been a much better game than it actually was.
Yeah.
Yo, if Donkey Kong 64 actually ended up somehow getting a remake at this year's E3, that'd be wild as hell, but I highly doubt that.
Yeah, I don't think it would.
All I know is that the next Donkey Kong game, if Donkey Kong gets another game, like, there's no excuse. We gotta bring the Kremlins back. No more Tikis, no more penguin people, even though the penguin people are kind of cool. Like, nah.
Yeah, they were definitely better than the Tikis. Again. The Tikis were just so generic.
I absolutely love that big fat walrus, like the main one. I love him so much.
The polar bear boss was pretty funny too. The fact that you got to dye his fur purple.
Oh yeah, the polar bear is really good too. The Tikis are kind of weak, but I do like the Vikings. But I do want the Kremlins back. But you know what I want? I kind of want it so that like the main boss, the main Tiki boss, and the main Viking boss were all working with King K. Rool this whole time.
I wouldn't be against that. It'd at least tie the other ones into.
Yeah, just say that King K. Rool just went on
I'd be down vacation. For it.
Yeah, that'd be a good way to do it. Like to write him back in. Oh, he went on vacation. That's why he wasn't in Return to Tropical Freeze.
I've always been of the opinion that K. Rool is one of the most batshit insane Nintendo villains there is.
Yeah.
Like, literally the entire reason for, like, his first game is he took all the bananas because he doesn't like bananas, so he doesn't want anybody else to have bananas.
That's his backstory? I didn't even know that.
That was the first Donkey Kong Country. The second one, like, he progressively got more and more insane as he got upset that he kept getting thwarted, and so he started including, like, I'm going to take out the Kongs and destroy the bananas.
Yeah.
Alright, so what's his excuse for becoming a scientist?
Probably so he could figure out a better way to get rid of bananas. He's just an outright insane villain. Like,
yeah, no, he was a king, then he was a pirate, then he was a scientist. Next you're gonna tell me he's a football playing pirate king in space.
He was essentially Darth Vader in the 64 because he had like the breathing apparatus and stuff.
Yeah, no, that was pretty crazy.
It's like at this point, it's like I feel like when certain characters get into Smash and some of them never got invites, I would think that King K. Rool stole the invite that someone else had that didn't make it in.
Like Dixie Kong.
No, I'm just gonna say that he stole it from Waluigi.
No, that's fair. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like the thought that Waluigi got an invite.
I don't like the thought of that either. That's why I'm glad Pete said now King K. Rool took it instead.
Because it would play into the fact that like in the King of Fighters series that in the first game there was a team of 3 sports characters who were only in that game, and then like in the second game the reason that they were not in it is because their invites were stolen by another team that replaced them, and then they made that same joke in a future game afterwards. So since Sakurai does like the King of Fighters series, I would not be shocked if he used that plot device for like certain other characters saying that, oh, the reason they didn't get it is because their invites were stolen by another character that did get it. And King K. Rool could be a character that would steal somebody's invite. It may not be Waluigi, but he definitely would steal someone else. Oh, hey, CTK.
Hey, CTK.
Yeah. I was asleep because I saw you guys invited.
Yeah, no, well, we're literally on the last round of Mario Kart 64, so when we're done with this, we'll pop you in then.
Okay. Yeah. Let me. I'm gonna still see if in the meantime I can get the C64 controller working.
Yep.
But yeah, Sakurai is exactly the type of troll that would be like, "Oh yeah, no, he stole somebody else's invite," and Sakurai would even just like not tell us who, just to like mess with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yo, it'd be kind of cool. Yo, it'd be kind of cool if in the next, like when the next Fatal Fury or King of Fighters character gets invited, you'll see that like months. You'll see like Terry got the invite to get in now, but then did you see someone that was sitting at their desk months earlier? And freaking somehow you'll see that the invitation like flew out their window and something, and that's how it got started with the other trailer.
Oh god,
Yeah.
frame rate.
And yeah, we do have 2 more character slots. I would not be shocked that we get both of them revealed at E3, because that's what they did in 2019. They revealed like the second and the third one from that pass. So
Possibly, I don't know. They might also want to just make the final reveal its big own thing.
but it's like I think what they'll do is like they'll start off with a character that not many people are as interested in, but could still be a potentially cool pick. And then the last one will be someone that is like someone that's either going to be hype, huge. It's either good. Like I want a character. I want to see if there's going to be like another character that is going to be like mixed, because of one group is like super hyped, one group is super angry, and like barely any in between. Who could be that other character?
You know, it'd be a funny character to see making Bandana Waddle Dee.
I would be okay with that.
As somebody who was literally a plant main, would not be upset. I like the goofy characters. I do think that when they release the final character and there's no Fighter Pass 3, because of course there's not going to be, there's going to be some angry people that for some reason are going to expect more.
Either that,
and those people can go fly a kite.
That or people.
Literally, they got Smash Ultimate had like 3 years of support. There were over 100 stages, many like hundreds of songs, many characters to choose from.
How many characters do we have now?
Don't say that is not enough, and it's like then you fucking go make the game.
Yeah. No, it's like at least 85. There's at least 85 to almost 90 characters if you're also considering Echo Fighters.
I'd consider Echo Fighters.
And it's
I do too. No, it's like at least 90 characters.
Yeah, and it's like no, Sakurai already received death threats for the fact that Waluigi is his trophy.
He's been getting death threats about that for years. It's disgusting.
And the thing is that like that actually ruined like any interest I would have in Waluigi. No offense to the actual Waluigi fans that aren't like that, but it's like, yeah, especially you. Like I know you would not do that, CDK.
Yeah.
But it's like they're just people who just take things way too far, and I'm like,
yeah, people take that shit for granted. Like development takes time.
Yeah, I think a lot of big devs, they might not even talk about it, but I think a lot of big devs get like stuff like death threats by fans because fans can be crappy.
Yeah,
it's like well, yes, like if they do something you don't like, call them out. However, going at it with like death threats and all that is not the way to go.
No, it never is.
And if anything, like doing death threats will actually make them even less likely to give you what you want. And the thing is that if you actually give them what they want after you receive a death threat, guess what happens?
You get more.
They expect you to do more.
Yeah. So no, they don't deserve Waluigi.
Nah.
Like those people don't.
If anything, by acting like that, you have a greater chance of pushing the dev away from like making more stuff. Like that's the kind of thing that makes them just not want to make games in the series if they're gonna just be the end of toxic stuff.
That's why, like, I actually do not like a lot of people online who are like super diehard Smash fans that only just like, I'm like, go play something else, okay?
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
It's like,
by the way, I thought the character that would be like in between, like some people would be extremely hyped, and a lot of people would probably hate it, and there'd be like no in between. The Fortnite characters.
No, like I see more people like angry about that. Like, well, maybe little kids, but even then,
I mean, people would be angry, but it wouldn't come off as any surprise.
Yeah.
Like after,
I
like,
think there
after
would be
Steve
people
get-
excited.
Honestly, after
Yeah,
after
yeah, no,
Steve
yeah,
getting in,
Greg
I'm
was
not
like,
surprised that.
oh,
yeah, exactly.